Happy Saturday afternoon, everybody. Here's my current update on my plants. So bed number one, we have an abundance of rainbow carrots growing. So this whole section, I know now that these are not parsnips. Yes, parsnips, those yellow carrot things I was talking about. That is a parsnip. These are parsnips. So what that means is that this here is probably a weed. I was thinking, okay, maybe there's some Italian sweet basil over here somewhere. Maybe that's Italian sweet basil, maybe not. These little guys definitely are not. They're weeds. They're weeds that came with the topsoil that originally, not originally, but the second time I planted stuff in this bed. And when I started planting stuff in beds, 4 through 8, I started using topsoil that I got from Home Depot. And yeah, as a result, you get a lot of seeds that, a lot of stuff that you don't actually want. Stuff like these little red flower thingies right here. This is totally not indigenous to my yard. So, not to sound mad or upset or anything, but good thing is this whole section of rainbow carrots are doing really good. Parsnips are doing okay. We have, I'm noticing right about up to about here, what is clearly parsnips, but I'm not seeing an abundance all throughout the bed. Like it's like here, over here, and then over here you got more. But still, it's in patches. So I'm gonna probably end up planting some other seeds back here in between all these because I really kind of want more stuff to grow. I don't want it to just be like, okay, I planted this a month ago and oh, something's barely happening, and I'm just gonna wait even longer and have nothing happen in my bed. No, I want stuff growing here, so I'm gonna do that. Obviously, this salad is doing really good, or this lettuce is doing great. These beets are actually doing pretty good. You can see that we get some really happy white icicle radishes here. I mean, this thing is a great thing to use. Right here, yeah, again, we got some fairly mostly happy looking turnips growing. I need to maybe thin them out a little bit more. I already thinned them out. These ones I haven't thinned out yet, but I'm gonna have to. All these guys, these ones are newer ones. You can tell these are the same as this, but these are planted earlier. So you can tell. All these are doing really good. The ones in here are good, but again, I need to, where the chickens had damaged it about a month ago, I need to go ahead and put more seeds. I just haven't got around to it. I've been too busy with other things in life. Mulch pile's doing good. The potatoes are doing actually mostly good. Considering, these are all transplants from another location. Ah, stupid. Okay, so basically a chicken or some birds came and got this. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. Oh well. Well, we got more, I believe, these potatoes growing here. I'll double check. Of course, there are some plants that are sprouting up that look like they're potatoes, but might actually be like the tops of wild radishes or something else. So we'll see. Anyways, yeah, I'm not happy that just happened, but it looks like there's still something growing here. I'm gonna just kind of cover that up, and hopefully that'll be okay. Keep watering it. Anyways. These white icicles over here in bed 7 are doing okay. They are growing. They're not bad. The turnips are actually, considering how long it's been since I planted the white icicles by comparison, I'd say that the turnips are doing really, really good here. It looks like some of the leaves have been chipped at by some birds, though. These turnips are doing okay, but they're growing flowers already. It looks like they're going to seed, but these ones got planted a long time ago, I think in December, maybe even November, and we're now in the middle of April, so I can see why these are going to seed, but we still got, you can see a decent sized turnip down. Not as big as the ones that were in the plastic container next to bed 1, but still. These right here, so what I just did recently, oh yeah, these turnips are doing really good actually, and this is not charred, so that's gonna go. My wife told my sister-in-law to take some onions out. Those are not onions, those are garlic. And you can see why these 10 over here are wilting, and these ones are doing fine. This is the rest of my onions. I got about 3 of them in here, and these are the ones that she's supposed to get. I told her, hey, whenever we harvest a particular crop, we want to harvest it all out of one spot first. Like before I really get into these beets, I want to make sure these ones are gone. Maybe even these ones are gone, and definitely those ones are gone, because these are I did lines of beets, and because I was just trying to get stuff growing. And honestly, I don't regret the decision to do that, but it does make things look a little less organized. But dang, look at the size of that beet. I mean, we got some good stuff growing here. So maybe the mixing method is actually the right method, you know, at times. But it is good to have entire areas of just one plant. So what I did, well, first off, I finished off the beets that were that are here in bed number 6, and then I planted a bunch of radishes. That is not a radish right there. That's a weed. Okay, but because of my success over here with the planting some French dressing, or no, French breakfast radishes over here, covering the soil with cut grass, actually has helped these things to not only maintain moisture, but also kind of protect them as early sproutlings from birds. So, and because here in bed 3, I did a whole bunch of beets. The problem is some of them got clipped. Like some of them actually, like right there, those got totally eaten either by bugs or by birds. It wasn't by chickens, because the chickens are very clumsy creatures. They tend to leave an obvious sign that they were there. Meaning that if they were the ones that ate this right here, there would have been like footprints easily, and not to mention a bunch of peck marks in the dirt. So definitely, I'm pretty sure it was not them. But I've been noticing more birds entering the yard from other locations. So anyways, I'm pretty sure it was birds that got these, but you can see that like some of these, since I covered these up, I keep some of this around, we got some beets popping up. That's good. That's what I want. I also want to make sure that the soil doesn't get overly hot. I want to make sure that the soil maintains enough moisture. So from now on, I'm going to keep doing this with new sproutlings. I'm just going to take, you know, now that I have the means to cut my grass again, I can actually take this grass and use it, not just toss it in the green waste container. So anyways, because of my experience with those beets, I decided, and because of the success with the French breakfast, I took more French breakfast from the same packet. There's so many seeds in that one packet that this is all French breakfast radish also. And this one right about to here is French breakfast. Yeah, so right about that line with that plant right there. This is all French breakfast. This is all beets. I want to make sure I have a steady supply of beets. This here, I'll eventually see that as I keep chipping away at this, which I'm going to start again from this angle going that way. And that way what's going to happen is I may end up planting that half of this section of turnips with more beets, and then once these are gone, I'll do more, and that'll be a form of succession planting. That way this section will grow first, and it'll hit more of the sun rays coming this way as the day goes on, and then as these start sprouting afterwards, they won't be overshadowed by these ones. So you want to make sure that when you're planting, you're going to go ahead and follow the direction of the sun. That's why I moved all these cilantro plants, which they're dying. I mean, and to be honest, they were already getting to that point anyway. They're going to seed. I'm not sure how to collect the seeds. I have to research that, but you got flowers growing. I'm going to pull a bunch of these out, and I'll probably just plant more radishes here. Or actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and plant more cilantro in the same location. I have other cilantro seeds, so I'll give those a shot. I can't believe how long these have lasted, like 6-7 months, something like that. I need to check my little black book, but these have been around for a while. Like when I planted my first potatoes over here, I also planted cilantro seeds shortly afterwards to kind of act as a deterrent for certain pests. So that's pretty much the status of the garden at the moment. Those are the kind of setbacks I've had. It's a minor setback here, thankfully, because even though there was actually quite a few sprouts that came up, I planted way more than it sprouted at the time that the bugs or birds came and got them. Now on Saturday night I did a video. I didn't upload it, and then Sunday morning the leaves were all pecked out, and that just pissed me off. Anyways, so but again, I have none of these had sprouted yet. But over here there's a lot more sprouts that had gotten attacked, and so but because of just the sheer amount and how close I've done some of the seeds, like I've done like, in like a 4-inch square, I'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle. I'll do that. That's how I do it. In a 4-inch square, I plant 5 sets of seeds. I say sets because I'm planting multiple seeds in each hole, because you want to make sure you maximize the likelihood that you'll be growing something in that spot. And it's okay to go ahead and lose some seeds if it means that they actually grow. Because if you don't, if one seed dies and you plant like 2 or 3 seeds in that spot, you have 2 other opportunities for it to grow. And that's why you want to, do multiple seeds in one spot. That's why they tell you to do that, and then you thin it when it gets to a certain height. For those of you who don't already know that. Anyways, so these are doing okay. I will be thinning these probably in about a week or so, because they are growing nicely. They've been growing. I planted them, I think, about 2 weeks ago now, if I recall correct. Or at least tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be 2 weeks. I think I planted them on a Sunday. But anyways, again, the little black book will tell me more. So I'm debating what to do with bed 8. I mean, we have more living cilantro in this. The problem is, actually, that's not bad. A lot of this that looks like it's still edible is not. It's woody. Like over here in bed 5, I'm taking these little clippings right here, because actually even that right here, that's only slightly woody compared to this big stalk here that's actually not woody at all. It's weird. It's kind of funny. You have to test it before you bring it in the house, because my wife's going to use some cilantro later on today. And yeah, I guess I'll be keeping some of these for now. But I'm also going to, for sure, all this gets redone. The potato plant that's in here, the potato plants that are dying, I'm going to harvest them, see what's in there, if anything. I'm going to rework all the soil. There's a whole bunch of rainbow carrot seeds. Again, this got attacked by the chickens. We talked to the neighbor. He took care of the chickens. That might be the one and the only. Well, maybe that one too. Okay, so there's a couple. I heavily watered this recently, so maybe the seeds just need to get more water, but it's been so long that they should have already, considering I water these every day, there should have already been some germination happening. It just wasn't happening. So if the seeds have really sat that long without sprouting, I'd rather assume they're dead and just plant new ones and rework the soil, which needs to happen anyway. It's been months since I redid the soil, and the only thing that's really consistently grown is the cilantro. So, which I'm glad. We've had plenty of it, but we've had more than we've been using, and now we want to use some more, and it's at the point where it's ready to stop growing. And it's good. It tastes good. So if I can harvest seeds, I will. I wouldn't mind keeping more of the seeds of my first plants, just so I can keep, keep a rotation growing of the old, keep the lineage alive, so to speak. But I haven't been doing that with any beets, although the beets that were here in bed 6, they were starting to grow some seeds. Like this right here, these guys here, we already got some seeds. Looks like they're going to pop up. But again, I think, and again, I'm not the expert, but I'm just going to go off on a limb and say that by the time these produce seeds, oh man, we got some little critters in there, little bugs. By the time these things produce seeds, the plant itself will probably have gotten too woody to be edible. I've only had one beet, and it was from bed 7, where I had a whole bunch of them growing for a long time, and I didn't harvest them on time. I was able to just keep on eating them, and they were great. They didn't produce any seeds. I didn't have any of this going on. I think this has to do with the fact that it's spring, and some of these plants bolt. A lot of plants here bolted recently, so that's basically what's going on here. And I do need to get to these, but again, I want to successively eat these ones and those ones, beds 1 and 2, because there's less of them there. Well, you know what? Maybe that's why I should eat these ones first, because if these are gone, I can just plant more seeds in this place, and by the time I get to these other guys, maybe more of these will have grown, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, this is like a dense forest of these things. I like having a dense forest of beets. You have to, as long as you properly, a little bit of advice, as long as you properly thin out the sprouts, and the sprouts aren't overly close together, like again, within like a 4-inch square, you've got literally 5 seeds. You got one on each corner, and then one in the middle. And then the next square, you're basically adding, technically 3 more. The next square, 3 more because of, the first square being 4, and with one in the center. So as long as you keep that spacing, like that 2-inch spacing, 2 to 4-inch spacing, I would say, it'll grow fine. In fact, it seems like it'll grow even better because the extra leaves from their brothers will protect the soil from being overly caked with hot sun. Okay, that's what I noticed with these guys over here. My first set, and they were the not the Detroit dark red that I've been growing, but the bull's blood. They had a slightly different, color to the stalks. Not too different, but kind of. They didn't grow quite as well. And considering that I didn't remulch this dirt at all, it was literally like after I removed some of the onions or transplanted them elsewhere, whatever I did, I can't remember. I just planted a whole bunch. Actually, that section may have had no onions growing there, come to think of it. I might have transplanted. There might be like 1 or 2 that I transplanted. Anyways, they, yeah, I mean, these beets have done amazing, way better than the bull's blood ever did. And part of that could have been that I was trying to follow the textbook method of planting. And the problem is the textbook method doesn't always work. You have to kind of, I don't want to say use too much imagination, but look outside the box. M.I. Gardner is a great channel. That guy, it's because of him that I started planting these things differently and have gotten much more success. So you have to have completely ideal soil, 100% perfectly ideal soil, if you're going to grow things the textbook way of doing it. If you're doing home gardening and you're having to basically do what I'm doing, you're having to make your own mulch and do all kinds of craziness, and even buy some topsoil, you have to kind of maybe use other methods. And these other methods have been really successful. Like I said, I mean, I never got a huge beet out of this whole section when it was bull's blood, but Detroit dark red, heck yeah, man. But here's the thing: when I had this bed full, from right about here to that end, my original beets weren't super big. They were actually fairly small, not super miniature. I mean, some were, but they were basically about the size of like a $50. And they remained that way up until I got about to the middle of this section of beets. I started getting bigger ones, and then finally got to the end, and I mean literally right about where this guy is and where this guy is. Okay, we're talking heart-sized beets. It's awesome, and I'm noticing that some of these younger ones planted afterwards are doing really good. So I'm looking forward to harvesting more of these. But here's a little bit of medical advice for anybody who loves beets. Don't eat them all the time. The reason I say that is because they have a lot of sugar. Now, the sugar is healthier sugar than what you're getting in soda. However, you're going to be peeing and pooping like pinkish, purpley dye. It's going to be juice from the actual from the beets themselves. You're like, what the heck? I mean, I started pissing purple or pink for the first time, and I'm like, if I didn't know better, if I hadn't already researched this, I would think I have some kind of a medical issue. And one could debate that I do anyway. I mean, either I'm eating too many beets, or maybe my system isn't as good at processing the beets. I've heard that could be a potential issue. But just remember, the juice itself is very common. You'll pee it out. And if you're eating a couple of beets with your lunch, even if they're kind of like medium to small sized, if you're doing that like every workday, you're still going to be like peeing and pooping like pink or purple. It's just keep that in mind. So that being said, I love beets and I want to keep growing them. They're delicious and they are nutritious. But I really am missing my turnips. I'm glad that some of these have finally grown, but I can't wait for the rest of them to grow because it's going to be really awesome. And as you guys can see here, I've got a lot of seeds growing on this lettuce, and I'm not eating it fast enough. Now, if this were like 3 months ago, definitely 4 months ago, when I originally was growing lettuce, if it had grown this big, if it had bolted then, I would have been eating a lot more salad that would have not been composed mostly of beet greens and other stuff. I would have had a lot more actual lettuce. So beet greens, here's the thing, if your teeth are good, you're not using dentures, you can, I mean, ignore this dead leaf, but take a healthy leaf like this. You can eat the leaf, but you can also eat the stalk on the leaf. Now, here's the thing I've noticed is some of these stalks, you can eat the stalk. At least I've eaten the stalk on a beet recently. Like when I got those heart-sized ones 2 weeks ago, it was good. The problem is, I was having a maybe allergic reaction. Like if I were to eat this stalk right here, I guarantee you that stalk would taste good, but within a couple minutes, I'd be noticing my throat would feel kind of itchy. And I guess that's a pollen issue, and some people have different allergic reactions. I typically have not. I've eaten so many beets over the course of time, mostly the leaves because of my salads. But now I'm hesitant now as the beets have been getting bigger in my garden. Thank heaven, okay? I can eat less of the stalks because now the stalks are becoming less nutritious for me, However, if you do get the itchiness, there's a solution. Get yourself some like chili cheese Fritos, if you have them floating around, or if you have some kind of like nacho Doritos, and maybe some soda, preferably Jarritos, maybe pineapple, or whatever, maybe some regular soda, and go ahead and drink that with your chili cheese Fritos or Doritos, and that will actually, at least in my situation, it seemed to ward off the effects of the itchiness in my throat. So I guess that stuff just rubbed off all of the pollen that came off the beet stalk that I ate. I mean, man, it tasted good, but it was definitely making me itch. So, oh yeah, one last thing. Brussels sprouts, I recently clipped off the leaves on most of them because that's how you start growing the Brussels sprouts. So like these right here, like that's actually, I guess, the beginnings of an actual Brussels sprout. If you don't clip the leaves, that doesn't happen. You don't want to clip all the leaves off, though. You want to keep some of them towards the top because you want to have, obviously with photosynthesis and whatnot, plants need sun and they collect it through their leaves. So that's how you do it. And oh yeah, one other last thing. Those turnips are doing good. And now these other ones over here will be getting a little more sun because of less leaves here. But, and these bunching onions that came out of bed 8, they're very healthy. They're doing really good. It's been a slow process, but it's finally happening. So anyways, guys, happy gardening. I hope you guys are having a great, beautiful Saturday afternoon like I am. Keep chugging away at your gardens if you have them. And I'll keep you guys updated probably in about a week again to let you know what's going on. And have a great day.